The US always nowadays advocates for peace, right? Well, that's at least what they plus their buddies in the good old honest legacy media will have you believing, or at least want you to believe. Now, if you somehow at this point, after seeing a lot of things that have unfolded over the past couple of years, still somehow believe that our government actually gives a shit about people other than themselves and the majority of the people within it, well, then you might want to take your socks off for this one, because this is going to be a pretty wild ride, baby.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
It's definitely something that you want to know about the Middle Eastern conflict between Israel and Hamas, or Israel, Gaza, whatever you want to call it. And it definitely highlights a bit more of the true nature, many of us would argue, of the U.S. government. But before we go ahead and get more into that, though, cue intro. Now, for like the third or fourth time on this channel, what happened on October 7th is nothing less than a tragedy. It's terrible that that shit happened, and it just should not be a thing overall. But the continuing bombardment of innocent Palestinians and or Israelis in the Gaza Strip, as well as, just attacks on Israelis as well too, just needs to stop, and it shouldn't have happened to begin with, you feel me, overall. This stuff should not be continuing more than anything, because it's just totally uncalled for, especially on Israel's part. I feel like you guys will be pretty happy to hear that the US, all by itself, in a United Nations meeting, vetoed a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. And this was pretty recently too. It was actually within the past week or two. Such great news, right? Now even more innocent people will continue to die, not just from starvation either. Now let's go ahead and take a more in-depth look at this whole matter. Israel's strikes in Gaza continue. The US vetoes unusual UN ceasefire resolution. The strikes come just hours after the US stood alone against an unusual UN resolution that called for an immediate ceasefire. More than 17,700 Palestinian people have died in Gaza during the Israel-Hamas war, according to the latest figures from the health ministry in the Hamas-controlled territory. About 2/3 of the dead are women and children. Israel continued its bombardment of the Gaza Strip on Saturday, including in areas where Israeli forces had previously told Palestinians to evacuate. The strikes came just hours after the U.S. stood alone against an historic UN resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire. As fear grows of a wider regional conflict, Yemeni Houthi rebels backed by Iran threaten to target any ship that is headed to Israeli ports while passing through the Red and Arabian Seas. The blockade will be in place, an official said, until food and medicine can freely enter Gaza. Aid groups and residents have described severe food and medical shortages as 2.3 million Palestinians have effectively become sealed inside the territory that is just 25 miles long and about 7 miles wide. The Biden administration has opposed an open-ended ceasefire, arguing it would allow Hamas to continue its fight against Israel. The State Department bypassed Congress under emergency provisions to sell Israel nearly 14,000 rounds of tank ammunition worth over $106 million. Now, think about the ironic fact of the matter, you feel me, that they just magically vetoed a decision of a ceasefire when they were selling emergency provisions of tank shell ammunitions to Israel, you feel me? Which significantly boosts the arms dealers and makes them a lot of money, especially, quite a few people in Congress, you feel me? As if you guys watched any of our previous videos, we talked a little bit about how, certain Congress members invested in weapons dealer stocks right as this was happening, if not even before it. You feel me? And saying that, oh, well, we want peace, but yet they're investing in arms dealer stocks, which continue war. You feel me? It's just a bit ironic that they do that. And then more so, really, the fact of the matter that stocks for these arms dealers just skyrocketed to all-time high profits, I believe. If not, it's one of their higher profits in like the past couple of quarters, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know, and it wouldn't be the first time that the US has just completely, you know, pushed for war so they can continue to increase the wallets of their buddies in the arms dealers and the weapon manufacturers like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, etc. Oh, and also, by the way, the UK decided to be impartial this time on the whole issue, and it's a bit ironic on that too, because think about the fact of the matter how the Prime Minister over in the UK recently secured contracts shortly after all this stuff started going on in Israel to control and process oil with BP and stuff like that in the Israeli like sort of province, or just that whole general area. You feel me? It was really shortly afterwards, and it's just a private matter, despite the fact, you know, it was taxpayer dollars went into securing those licenses, by the way. But this is really for their family and stuff like that, to help his wife, since they have decent connections with BP. Just some food for thought. You guys know what else the majority of the United Nations agrees is a humanitarian crisis? The fact that you guys haven't hit that like button or destroyed the shit out of the subscribe button yet. They really think it's just god awful and society could collapse if you guys don't do that. All joking aside though, my dudes, it really does mean a lot to me, and it also helps to show me what you guys are enjoying that I'm putting out there for you, as well as, you know, help let other people know about this stuff, because it'll get us further up in that YouTube algorithm and show people it's okay to question the systems we live in, and show them what is going on out there just completely raw and uncensored. Do you feel me? But either way though, my dudes, I do appreciate you guys very much, and with that being said, let's go and hop right back on into the video. Now, mind you, that last part about the UK with the BP contracts and everything like that they secured for the, you know, big oil industry with the British Prime Minister recently, you can take that however you want. You feel me? It's just something that's a little ironic that the UK was just like, oh, we're just going to be impartial this time. The United States vetoed a United Nations resolution Friday backed by almost all other Security Council members and dozens of other nations demanding an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. Supporters called it a terrible day and warned of more civilian deaths and destruction as the war goes into its third month. The vote in the 15-member council was 13-1, with the United Kingdom abstaining. The United States' isolated stand reflected a growing fracture between Washington and some of its closest allies over Israel's months-long bombardment of Gaza. France and Japan were among those supporting the call for a ceasefire. U.S. Deputy Ambassador Robert Wood called the resolution imbalanced and criticized the council after the vote for its failure to condemn Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel, in which the militants killed about 1,200 people, mostly civilians, or to acknowledge Israel's right to defend itself. He declared that halting military action would allow Hamas to continue to rule Gaza and only plant the seed for the next war. Hamas has no desire to see a durable peace, to see a two-state solution, Wood said before the vote. For that reason, while the United States strongly supports a durable peace in which both Israelis and Palestinians can live in peace and security, we do not support calls for an immediate ceasefire. So you guys want a durable peace, but you're okay with the bombardment of innocent civilians and the starvation of innocent civilians due to the bombardment of a corrupt president? Yeah, it sounds like you guys are totally for durable peace, doesn't it? Not at all, maybe for, I don't know, sales and money gains for the military-industrial complex, and I don't know how many members in Congress that invested in their stocks. Abu Shahab, a UAE diplomat, said before the vote that the resolution, which his country sponsored, had garnered nearly 100 co-sponsors in less than 24 hours, a reflection of global support for efforts to end the war and save Palestinian lives. After the vote, he expressed deep disappointment at the U.S. veto and warned that the Security Council is growing isolated and appears untethered from its mandate to ensure international peace and security. The Council called the emergency meeting to hear from Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who for the first time invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter, which enables a UN chief to raise threats he sees to international peace and security. He warned of an humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza and urged the Council to demand a humanitarian ceasefire. Guterres said he raised Article 99, which hadn't been used at the UN since 1971, because, in quotes, there is a high risk of total collapse of the humanitarian support system in Gaza. The UN anticipates this would result in a complete breakdown of public order and increased pressure for mass displacement into Egypt, he warned. Gaza is at a breaking point, he said, and desperate people are at serious risk of starvation. Guterres said Hamas brutality against Israelis on October 7th can never justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people. Definitely a very, very true statement there. It doesn't take very much brain power to realize that, you feel me? You can't justify the bombardment of thousands to hundreds of thousands of innocent Palestinians and or Israelis, you feel me, too, in addition to the starvation, simply because of one event, you feel me? You can't just kill buttloads of innocent people that have nothing to do with it. You can't do that. That's literally like saying that, you know, two wrongs make a right, which is ass backwards, and that's not true at all. It's like, it does not by any means at all, you feel me? This is worse than what Hamas did, arguably, overall. If you look at the whole big picture, you feel me? Either way, both of them really messed up for doing it, and it should not be continuing by any means at all. Well, indiscriminate rocket fire by Hamas into Israel and the use of civilians as human shields are in contravention of the laws of war. Such conduct does not absolve Israel of its own violations, he stressed. The UN chief detailed the humanitarian nightmare Gaza is facing, citing intense, widespread, and ongoing Israeli attacks from air, land, and sea that reportedly have hit 339 education facilities, 26 hospitals, 56 healthcare facilities, 88 mosques, and 3 churches. When you guys hear this stuff, what do you think on it? Do you really think there's a justified reason to continue indiscriminate bombardments of a territory, knowing that it's going to kill hundreds of thousands of innocent people that have nothing to do with this whole conflict, do you feel me? Because there's no reason why it should be going on at this point. The only reason why, logically, that it's going to continue to go on is for profit in hindsight. Like, ultimately, that's what it seems to be like heavily, is that this is just financial issues and acquisitions, you feel me, from the UK securing a buttload of freaking oil contracts with BP in the Middle East, in Israeli territory and stuff like that, really shortly after all this happened, you feel me? Mind you, you can take that however you want. And then also the US just saying, oh, we should just continue to do it anyways, you know, while the arms dealers are getting huge boosts of profits, while innocent people are just dying from random bombardments. It doesn't really seem like they actually give a shit, does it? Like, think about it. You can say, oh, well, it's so Gaza, or not Gaza, Hamas doesn't do it again. Well, then why are they continuing bombardment of innocent people? So Israel and the US / the UK are just kind of, you know, sitting here going like, all right, well, all these innocent people are dying, so let's just continue. It's all a part of everyday life now that innocent people die due to indiscriminate bombings of militaries and governments nowadays. It's just a normal thing. 100%, man. It's just business as usual. Continue on. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. It is just so ridiculous. It's just too obvious to see that this is just so messed up on so many different levels. A lot of people are sitting here calling for a ceasefire, and the fact of the matter that the majority of the United Nations said that one should happen, in which a couple sat there and just vetoed the whole fucking council on that and said no, it shouldn't happen, is really messed up. And the amount of people saying that a ceasefire should happen should show you that it should happen if it didn't already, you feel me? Especially when it comes to the United Nations meeting. Because they're supposed to be the peace protectors, you feel me, in the world. The US and Israel plus and or the United Kingdom arguably are just responding to this whole thing when people are like, hey, innocent people are dying due to the random indiscriminate bombardment of the Gaza Strip, and they're starving and really suffering due to the lack of proper medical equipment because they have to use things like contaminated water and or makeshift rags and bandages due to the fact of the matter that their supply routes to get supplies for medical procedures have been cut off. We really should stop this. The US, UK, and or Israel, you feel me, their response is, well, that would mean we'd lose out on money then. We don't want to do that. That would really suck for us. Losing millions of dollars? Are you crazy? You sound like one of those crazy conspiracy theorists now. It's so hard to ignore how fucked up it is at this point, you guys. It really, really is. But that's enough about what I think. What do you guys think? My adoring tribe members, new viewers, etc. Let us know your guys' thoughts and concerns on all this stuff going on in the Middle East / Palestine in the comments section down below. We'd love to hear it. And, we're open-minded, you feel me? Because that's how you're supposed to be about things. However, though, if you guys did make it to this point in the video, go and leave the word crazy in the comment section down below to let me know that you made it to the end, that you guys are part of the 1,000,000% tribe. Also, please don't forget to, hit that like button and destroy the shit out of that subscribe button. It really does help out when you guys do this stuff. It also helps to get this information out to even more people, completely raw and uncensored, whenever you guys share it to your friends, family, anybody that's interested, stuff like that. Because the more this stuff gets out there, the less likely things like this happen. Because people, when they hear stuff like this, it riles them up. It gets them angry. It gets them motivated, you feel me, and gives them a firm understanding of what's actually going on out there instead of the bullshit propaganda that the old legacy media like CNN, Fox News, the Washington Post, etc. sit there and just shove down people's fucking throats, you feel me? It's the best way there is to sit there and make change happen, But with all that being said, though, thank you to all 140 badass motherfuckers of this Z Tribe. I appreciate you guys very much. And any new viewers stopping by as well, too. I appreciate you guys and, hope you enjoy your time here. And once again, thank you for the love and support you guys have given me. And let me know if there's anything you guys want to see more of on this channel. You feel me? Or there's something you feel like needs to be covered that isn't being covered by the mainstream or other independent, media centers or channels like myself. I would love to do stuff like that for you. Now, if you guys would like a more interactive experience with us, come join us live every Wednesday and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Time, where we, talk about conspiracies like this with factual basis, survival stuff as well, play video games and goof off with games such as Pokemon Unite, Fortnite, Apex Legends, etc. Whatever really floats the mood. We do predominantly stick to Pokemon Unite, though. However, We'd love to have more people in there. The more the merrier. You guys get to chat one-on-one and interact with me live, as well as, you know, other people in the Z Tribe community and other viewers as well too. But until next time though, my dudes, please don't forget to live long and prosper. Take care and peace. Keep it 1,000,000% real. And as always, fuck the system. I will see you guys on the flip side. Z Tribe. Yo!
The people of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is a man.